Hi, girls. Welcome back to another episode of the Inner Path podcast. I'm your host, Bia, and as always, I'm really excited to be here. I want to start this podcast by saying that we just reached 100 followers on the show on Spotify alone, which is insane. Like, it's such a big achievement for me. I've been doing the podcast for almost 2 years now, and it's been such a beautiful, great journey. And I'm super passionate about this podcast because I absolutely love this space. I love this project that I've created and you've inspired me to create. And I just want to thank you so much for your support. Thank you for sharing the show. Thank you for following. Thank you for being here. It's such a blessing that we cross paths in this lifetime. It's such a blessing that we get to be there together, like doing this journey and just figuring life out and growing so much while we're doing this. It's honestly such a blessing to be able to be this person and have this space and be able to also guide other women to their growth and their self-love and their healing. It's a blessing. It's honestly a blessing. So thank you so much. If you are new to this space, make sure that you do follow. And if you're not new and you've been listening for a while, make sure that you're reviewing the podcast with 5 stars because that helps a lot. It doesn't take that long to do it. And I just feel like I really want this podcast to be in everyone's downloads. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to have access to this podcast because I know it can change people's lives. Like, it has been changing mine, like, it has been changing yours. So, yeah, I just wanted to start by saying that that is a huge milestone for me, honestly. And I don't know, when I first started the podcast, I just never thought that it could grow so much. When you start something, you're always like putting so many limiting beliefs, or so many beliefs come to the surface, like, oh, what if I run out of ideas? What if no one follows the podcast? What if no one cares about what I talk about? What if no one listens? And I've gone through so many ups and downs with the podcast of months and months that there weren't a lot of listeners, other moments where I felt like I wasn't growing, other moments of like a lot of growth and like podcast episodes going basically viral. And and now it's like I've come to this point where I'm just really happy with where I am, and I'm so fucking grateful that I never quit on myself. That has been a very big realization for me. Like, I have never quit on myself because I feel this calling within myself, and it's just calling me for more and bigger. And I know that there's this vision, there's this desire for a reason, and I've never quit even when it was hard, even when I was having a lot of self-doubt. And I just want that to be a like given for all of you guys too. Like, you never quit, period. Like, it's a non-negotiable. That was a big part, a big decision that I needed to make in order to continue growing in my life. Because if you start this journey of growth, of spirituality, of healing, of building your business or building your career, or you know looking for like your partner in life, etc., etc., you have to commit to that. And that means not quitting on yourself when it gets hard, because it will get hard inevitably. It will be challenging sometimes, and it must be a non-negotiable that you're not willing to quit on yourself and your desires and your needs, that you're not willing to give up on that vision. And that means not settling for less. That means not stopping and keep like going, moving forward, no matter where you are, no matter your circumstances, no matter whether someone is listening to you when you post those videos, no matter if you go on many dates and you get rejected multiple times. Like, you just never quit on your vision, because it is that important. It's your life. It's your most precious thing. It's the life that you want to build for yourself. It means so much because it's there, like, it's in your heart for a reason. I truly believe that. And being able to look at the podcast and how much it has grown, but also how much I have given to it. Like, I am showing up here every week, no matter what. I've been showing up, like, literally in the past almost 2 years, I've only skipped 1 or 2 weeks of like not posting, and I was either out of the country or I was like really completely off and I couldn't. But for the most part, it has been so, like, for me, it has been such an important thing to like continuously show up no matter how I feel, even when I don't know what I'm gonna say, even when I'm like, okay, I have no fucking clue what I'm about to say in this episode. I have nothing prepared. I don't have anything particularly that I'm thinking that I want to bring up, but I'm just gonna like turn on the recording thing and I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens. And every single week, it has shown me that we have so much more wisdom than we give ourselves credit for. We have so much more creativity, so much more resilience and capacity than what we believe in. And yeah, the podcast just has been a really important part of my process and in my journey. It has inspired me to grow, but inspired me to also be more of myself and speak my truth even more, be authentic, express myself, which is something that I've always desired to do, but I've not always given myself permission to, because I was always scared of like, what are other people gonna think? Are they gonna hate me? Are they gonna this? Am I being too much? Am I being blah blah blah? Like, I've always been so quiet in my life, although there was always this big desire in me to speak up, to express myself. I mean, I'm a Leo Mercury, for God's sake. You know what I mean? That means that I do have that need to externalize what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. Like, I need to put it out there in the form of art, in the form of words, in the form of whatever it is, but I just need to put it out there because that's the way I move. That's the way it works for me specifically. Of course, everyone needs to express themselves, but I'm just saying that I particularly have noticed that it is such a big thing for me, because, and I think it's because when I was, growing up, a lot of the times I felt like I was being silenced. Like my parents didn't allow me to say things. My parents didn't allow me to disagree with them. My parents didn't allow me to have an opinion of my own or fight for my rights, because they were really abusive. And I used to tell them, like, this isn't right, this isn't okay. But they were like, oh, you're too young to understand, blah, blah, blah. And they would just like completely dismiss my truth, you know? And so you grow up. Yeah, you grow up feeling like your truth doesn't matter, but your truth is literally your most powerful weapon, in a good way. Like, it's your most powerful tool. It's the thing that is gonna differentiate you from everyone else. It's the thing that is gonna call in everything that you desire. It's by being in your truth and honoring that so fucking radically. It's like no bullshit. It's like, yes, this is who I am. You either deal with it or fuck off. Like, this is what I want. It's either that or I'm just gonna keep going until I find that. Because you have to have a belief. You don't always have to believe that it's out there for you, but you just need to have the knowing that it's better not to have something settled. Like, oh, that is such a bad phrase. What I mean to say is, it's better to not settle than to settle for something just because you're not sure if it's gonna, like, if better exists. Like, I'm not gonna settle for a basic bitch ass man just because I feel like maybe what I want isn't available for me. I would rather not have what I want than settle for a mediocre person. I said what I said, bitch. I said what I said. I would rather never find a guy. I would rather, be single for the rest of my life than settle for a basic ass man. And believe me, for me to say that, oh, I've grown a lot. I can't believe that I'm saying that. Because it's like, girl, you want to be alone? Of course not. I love love. I love romance. I love relationships. And I can't wait to cuddle with my man. I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited about that. It's going to be a really interesting era of my life. But I would rather be single than settle for someone that isn't what I want, isn't what I know I deserve, because I know I deserve a lot. Like, I give myself princess treatment. I take care of myself. I hold space for my emotions. So why would I settle for a guy that can't be that for me? I just can't. I can't settle for someone like that. And it's the same for like your dreams, your career, everything. Like, I'm not going to settle for a basic ass job if I know that I desire more. Which is not me saying like don't ever, get a job that isn't what you desire, because sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you have to start here in order to get there, and that's fine. It's normal. But understand, are you coming from a place of sacrificing your vision, or are you coming from a place of sacrificing momentarily pleasure, let's say, for the sake of, this is the next step that I need to take in order for this to help me get to where I want to be? Like, is it helping you get to get closer to your goals? Is it helping you get closer to your vision, or is it harming your vision and harming the idea, the perception that you have of yourself? Is it, is it supporting your vision or not? Is it supporting your standards or not? Because if it isn't, then you're doing a disservice to yourself, and that is never good. That is never ever okay and acceptable. Of course we get to make mistakes, and I'm not saying shame yourself for it, because we all screw up, that's fine. But let's not pretend it's not there. Like, if you feel like you're not going after what you want, going after your desires, if you're just settling in life, then call yourself out. Be like, bitch, no, we deserve more. What the fuck am I doing? Sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes we need to like check in with ourselves and be like, no BS, just for real, be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I know I can do more, so why am I settling? Why am I staying here if I want to go there? Like, no, not acceptable. Not fucking acceptable. Your vision, your life is way too important. And this to say that doing this podcast has been like, I've learned so much from it, and that was probably one of the biggest things that I've learned, is that I will always choose myself. I will always choose my vision. I will always choose this path, no matter how hard it is, because it always takes me closer to who I want to be. And when I say that, I don't mean that I'm always trying to achieve something and it's always in the future. Because becoming the person of your dreams isn't just about, always striving for becoming something that you aren't. When you're becoming the person of your dreams, you start feeling like her. You start feeling like the person of your dreams. Like, creating the life of my dreams doesn't mean that I'm going to be 50 and have the life of my dreams then. No, like, I'm creating the life of my dreams progressively, which means that I'm already living the life of my dreams. I'm already doing the things that she would do. I'm already grateful for what I have right now. I'm already like in love with my life. That is what I mean when I say create the life of your dreams. It's not that it's for tomorrow. Like, you always have to bring it back to today, because today is all you have ever. And so it's about just creating that space of, who do I want to be? What type of life do I want to have? How do I want to feel? And how can I support my vision right now? And where am I not supporting my vision? It is never okay to give up, though. It is never okay to settle. It is never okay to play small, because you don't deserve to do that to yourself. Imagine your kid comes to you and they say like, oh, I want to be a ballerina. Are you just gonna tell them like, no, you have to settle for like a comfortable job? Are you gonna tell them that? Because if you are, I mean, we're not we're not on the same page. But I don't think you are, because you're here for a fucking reason, right? So it's like, I don't think you would say that to your kids. So why are you saying that to yourself? If you would support their dreams, if you would want them to go after the things that they desire, why aren't you giving that to yourself? Right? If your kid says, I want to be a ballerina, you would probably put them in classes, or help them like learn how to dance, or put them in shows. Like, do whatever it takes to help them live their dreams. So you need to support your vision like that. You need to be your biggest supporter always. Not that it's bad to have supporters, around you, like family and friends and a partner, of course. It's so good to have people that support you and believe in you, that truly believe in you. It's not just in a condescending way, like, oh yeah, yeah, like really cool that what you're doing. Like, I can tell when you believe in me or not, okay? That's a whole other thing, a whole other topic for another day. But my point is, the people that truly believe you, of course, keep them in your life. Like it's important to value that because, you know, that gives you strength, that inspires you, that reminds you of like of your potential, of what you can create, of what you can reach. But you always have to be your biggest supporter in the sense of they cannot move for you. They cannot not move the pieces of the chess game for you. Like you have to move them yourself. Like you have to put in the work yourself. You're the only one that can change your life. And in that sense, yes, you have to be your biggest supporter because no matter how much everyone else is supporting you, they cannot act for you. And you have to be your biggest supporter because action takes a lot of believing. It means like, okay, even when I'm doubting, even when I'm questioning if this is for me or not, I'm still going to show up for me because I'm going to support my vision, because I want to support my dreams. And the more you show up, the truth is, the more you tell yourself that your vision, that your desires are worthy, the more you're validating yourself for what you want to create in your life. Because if you quit right away, you're just saying it's not worth it. It's not worth even trying. Like what the hell is that? Like what is up with that, right? Like no. It is not only worth a try, it's worth infinite tries. It's worth everything because it's you we're talking about. Like it's your life. It's so worth it. It's everything, right? Like you don't want to finish in your deathbed, be dying and shit and just wonder like, damn, I wonder what I could have done if I said yes to more opportunities. If I chose to go after things even if I was afraid. Like, don't you deserve that? Don't you deserve to know how good it can get? Cuz believe me, I want to give that to myself. I love myself so much. I want to give myself that. I want to give that to my inner child. I look at her and I'm like, you deserve everything. And so I continue to show up because no matter how scared I am, no matter how much self-doubt I might feel some days, no matter how many questions I have, no matter how much uncertainty that there is, I know that, first of all, because I know the fucking laws of the universe and what I give energy to grows. This is like factual. Everything you give energy to grows. And so I'm going to continue to pour energy into my business, into my vision, into the things that I want. I'm going to continue to sustain that instead of settling for any other option, instead of settling for any other path. And so I continue to support my vision with energy, with money, with time, with effort, with inner work. I continue to invest in myself. And so when I do that, I'm telling myself, you are so fucking worthy. And I'm never, ever gonna give up on you. That is the most powerful thing you have. Don't ever give up on yourself. You are it. You give up on yourself, you have nothing. You gotta understand this at this point. You are everything for you. And when you feel disconnected or numb or empty or alone, like truly, utterly alone, girl, it's because you don't have you. Right? Like, if you've been listening to the podcast, you already know this, but everything in your life is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. That is literally one of the most important things that I teach in my programs, in my membership, the Goddess Codes, and the programs that are coming up soon. Like, let me tease you a little bit. It's everything that I'm about because I know it's that important. I know it literally makes all the fucking difference in the world, to the point where you start devoting time to yourself, your life changes the next day, kind of shit. I'm being dramatic about this. Maybe it won't change the next day, but it changes in a few months. Some people live the same life forever. Some people are living the same life for 50 years. If we look at our parents, I'm sure a lot of you know this and relate to this. Like, been living the same life since ever. They've been at the same job, doing the same shit, talking about the same things, complaining about the same things, just with the same stories over and over again. It's always the same. It's so freaking boring, by the way, because we are so much more interesting than that. Yes, we are complex and sometimes it's annoying, but that is what makes life interesting. Because imagine a movie of just someone, a guy. Dude, listen to this carefully because what I'm about to say is going to blow your mind. Like, imagine imagine watching a movie where the guy wakes up, goes to work, goes to bed, wakes up, goes to work, goes to bed, wakes up, goes to work, goes to bed. Would you watch that fucking movie? No, because it's boring, it's uninteresting, there's nothing there. There's no juice, there's no magic, there's no purpose, there's no meaning. The only meaning is you're wasting your fucking life, dude. No, like, that's not what we want, right? And so when we look at our parents and we see them repeating the same story over and over again, like, you don't want to end up like that. You don't want to do that to yourself, you know? And the reason why they are where they are is because they never learned to cultivate a relationship with themselves. Like, you can literally repeat the same bullshit mistakes and the same bullshit patterns forever, just like your parents, but you don't have to. That's the that's what you win by creating a relationship with yourself. It's that you gain so much knowledge about life, and with that comes so much power to take action. And instead of just repeating the same bullshit over and over again, you get to change the course of your entire life. I know that the life I'm gonna live in 50 years is not gonna be the same as if I never started this journey. I don't know where I would be. Thank God I will never fucking know. Like, I guess we'll never know, right? And we won't, because I'm so devoted to myself. I'm so devoted to this path. I'm so devoted to making sure my life means something to me. It's not about other people. It's not about, like, getting other people's validations that my life is good and that I'm living a good life and that I'm successful and that I make a lot of money. It's not about them, dude. It's never about other people and how they perceive me. Of course, we all want validation, but it's not about them. It's about me. I want to give myself a beautiful life. I want to make sure that I get to live. I want to get to live. You know? Does that make sense? Is this lighting you up or what? Like, I want to give myself that. I deserve that. Like, I didn't have the best childhood at all. I didn't have the best adolescence at all. And even if you did have a really great childhood and a really great adolescence, it doesn't have to stop there. Like, keep giving yourself a good life, you know what I mean? But if you're like me and you didn't have the best childhood and the best adolescence, if your parents were not the best with you, if you had abusive parents like me, if you just struggled a lot, don't you deserve to see how it can be different? Like, I've created such an intimate relationship with my inner child, and that was a big part of me healing my, from my traumas, very deep rooted traumas. I've been reflecting on this a lot lately, which is like, it's kind of insane that I have a relationship with my dad nowadays. I never thought that would happen ever because of everything that happened, everything that I suffered from him, but yet I see him for who he is, and I have so much compassion for him nowadays, and there is so much that has been forgiven, and above that there's so much that I've made my peace with. I never thought that would happen, like, ever. And so I was able to do that just by creating the relationship with myself, by um creating a relationship with my inner child. And when you create that, you suddenly realize, like, I'm so worthy. I deserve to see how good it can get. I want to see how good it can get. And I mean, I don't want to just settle for good. I want to settle for fucking awesome, for extraordinary, for magical, for miracles. I want to settle for the best fucking life ever. And I will not be content with anything but that. I just won't. Because I know it's possible. Because I know if someone else is doing it, then I must be fucking capable of doing it too. You know? Because dream realities are not just available for some, they're available for everyone, but you have to be brave enough to choose that. You have to be brave enough to go after it. You have to love yourself enough. I think that's the biggest part. You have to love yourself enough to choose to go for it, to choose the hardest path. That becomes the easiest because when you start, then like you understand that choosing to settle is the hardest, worst thing you could ever do. But it is hard at first because it's so out of your comfort zone and it's so out of your familiar zone, and you don't want to go after it. You don't want to go after your dreams. Like, you're scared, you're terrified of what's out there because it's unknown, and so you don't know what to expect from it. And it's actually easier for our ego to expect us to fail where we are, to expect us to have a boring life, to expect us to fail at life in general, to expect us to live miserably, because that's what we're already used to. We're used to living disconnected. We are used to living a life that feels all right. We get off from work and we're just like, oh yeah, today was okay. Oh yeah, it's normal. Oh yeah, I'm super tired. Like, we are so used to that narrative. And the idea of living a passionate life that lights you up from the inside, that feels super connected, is so exciting, but it's terrifying at the same time. And it's okay. It's okay that it is terrifying. I think it's supposed to be terrifying because that's how you grow. It's by learning to overcome that fear over and over again. And it's the most empowering journey. And I mean that. Like, you can go from hating yourself and hating your life to loving life so deeply that it makes you want to cry just looking around, being like, I'm alive, life is beautiful. Like, that is the type of place that you can get to when you start doing this work, because you keep choosing yourself over and over again. And so each new choice that comes, you're you're gonna learn to choose yourself more and more every single time. Like, before, me setting boundaries was like, oh my god, I have to say no. Oh my god, this. Like, of course, it still makes me uncomfortable, but it becomes way easier over time. Like, over time, it feels almost unthinkable to me to not honor my truth. It feels unthinkable to me to not go after my dream. Because it's like, for me, the other thing is not an option. Settling is not an option anymore. It's a non negotiable. It's a non negotiable for me. I will never quit on myself because I love myself so much. That is the power of creating a relationship with yourself. You gain so much strength. Imagine a mom trying to protect their kid. Like, they're gonna be a fucking superhero if they need to. They will kill someone if they need to. They will, like, punch a big guy on the face. They will do whatever it takes to protect their children. I will do whatever it takes to protect my vision. I will do whatever it takes to protect myself from living a life that is not meant for me. I will do anything, anything at all that is connected to my truth and that is genuinely in line, no matter how hard it might be. I will do it. I will choose it because I will always choose me. I will always choose myself. That is the biggest thing I had to really, like, um I needed to grow in this understanding. I needed to grow in this feeling, in this almost inner statement of, I choose me no matter what the hell happens, no matter how hard it is, no matter if I have to let go of someone that I really didn't want to let go of. I will choose me because I don't want to tell myself ever again that what I want and who I am is either too much or not enough, that what I want is not available for me, that I'm not capable of what I want, that I don't deserve what I want. Like, no, I'm not going to be that person for me ever again. That's being neglectful towards yourself. That's abandoning yourself. That those are not things that, cultivate a good relationship with yourself. Having a good relationship with yourself strengthens you so freaking much. It creates a really powerful structure that, like, no matter what happens, it's like those buildings during tsunamis, like in Tokyo or something. They just don't go fucking down, no matter what you do. There might be an earthquake and a tsunami and a hurricane, but that shit will stand strong. Yes, it might um you might feel some movement, it's not gonna stand still like completely. Yes, you're gonna feel shaken up sometimes. That is normal. That is so fucking normal. But you still stand in that knowing, in that commitment with yourself, in that fucking vow that no matter what happens, you got you. No matter what happens, you will choose you. That has been the most powerful thing I've ever done for myself. That's why we have this podcast. And I guess this is kind of today's conversation is honestly, I didn't have anything planned, but I really set the intention for the universe to give me a big download for your healing, for your growth. I just wanted to, I knew I had something big to share. I just didn't know what. But this feels like the perfect message to share today. Because it's the 100th episode. No, not the 100th episode. Oh my god. That's soon. But it's been like 100 followers. We have 100 followers on the podcast. It made me realize how much I have done for myself. It made me realize how much this work is so important. And it made me realize just why my mission is my mission. And having a place like the Goddess Codes, for example, where I'm teaching the girls to harness their power and learn to be their own goddesses, learn to co-create the life of their dreams with the universe, learn to anchor into their truth, learn to choose themselves, learn the foundations that will help you level up over and over and over again. That is the type of work that I'm doing with them, and they're already changing after a few months. It hasn't been even like half a year, and they have changed so freaking much. And I'm so proud of them, and I'm so proud of just the growth that I've gotten to witness from them. It's actually insanely beautiful. And the more you're on this journey, the more you get to look back and be like, damn, look at her go. Look at her create that life. Look at her do the things that she never thought were possible. Just look at her. You're gonna feel so proud of yourself. Commit to this journey. Don't ever give up on yourself. I think that's today's message. Maybe because some of you are at the point where it's hard and it's tough and it's complicated or it's confusing and overwhelming. And by the way, that's why the Goddess Codes exist. So if you feel like, you're just starting out, or you just feel like there's no end to where you are and you don't know how to get to that level of the things that I'm talking about, that's what the Goddess Codes is for. Like, people pay thousands of fucking euros for this work to figure this out. They spend an entire lifetime wondering why their life isn't better. You don't have to do it like that. You can figure that out, like, in this membership so easily, with all the work, the master classes, and all the like support that you have. And it literally is for the price of a dinner out. Like, it's such a great opportunity for you guys that are starting out. So make sure that you're checking that in the description of this episode. It's so freaking powerful and revolutionizing. Honestly, this work will revolutionize your entire reality. And if you feel like you're overwhelmed right now and you don't know where to go, and you just kind of just don't want to work more, you want to give up on yourself. You feel like not pursuing this. You feel like it's too much. You feel like nothing is ever changing ever. remember to ask yourself, where am I not choosing myself? Like, where am I settling for where I am? Because I'm so scared of moving forward, because I'm so scared of what this journey um is gonna have. Like, uh you're scared of not knowing, and you're scared that it's gonna be too intense. You're scared that it's gonna destroy you. That's the truth. We're scared of dying. Like, our ego creates and attaches to a specific identity, and starting this work threatens that ego. It threatens the identity of the old you, because you are going to release that. You are going to disintegrate that. You're not going to be the old you anymore. And no matter how exciting that might feel, again, it is scary, because your ego holds on to identities. It holds on to these attachments. And so it's not going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel threatening. It's going to feel life threatening to go on this journey, because the truth is, you don't want to feel like you don't have an identity. You don't want to feel all the pain and all the sense of, like, everything that you've been bottling up, everything that you've been just hiding under a rug is gonna come up. It's gonna come out once you start doing this work. It's fucking inevitable. And the truth is, your ego is protecting you from going there, because it knows, like, your subconscious mind is living in that shit. Your subconscious mind is under that rug and has been dealing with that shit and playing that narrative over and over again of all the times someone hurt you or betrayed you, someone abandoned you, all the things that they told you when you were a kid that are still playing at the subconscious level of your mind. And although it's under a rug, it's there. And everything that is happening in your reality is a reflection of your subconscious mind, mainly your subconscious mind, right? And starting this work is going to bring all that shit to the surface, and it's going to feel messy, and it's going to feel intense. That's why it's so important to have that support. That's why it's so important to have support, okay? That's why I have this podcast, so that you can have guidance, but also personalized support is really important. That's why I have the Goddess Codes, because you need a space where you can ask questions, where you can have that support for, like, when you're dealing with shit and you don't know what to do, and you can just pop a message and be like, look, I'm dealing with this and this and this, and I'm kind of panicking, and I'm just, like, struggling, and I just, do a little audio and I advise you about it, and I give you my insight, because I've been through all of it, dude. Like, I've been through all of it. I was in a really toxic relationship, and I was a person. I had an identity of this broken girl that was lost, that didn't know who she was. And the truth is, I think I knew, I just didn't want to know, because it was easier to feel like I was lost than to dare to find out who I could become. Does that make sense? Like, it was easier to just settle for being lost and settle for this reality and this narrative of, I don't know who I am and I'm empty on the inside, than to be like, okay, but why? And do I really not know? That's the truth. And I was so confused, so lost, so, like, negative. My mindset was so negative. Really, I was really self-destructive. I was really, really self-destructive in my life. I was the person that was drinking and smoking so that I wouldn't have to sit with my own thoughts, because it was a horror show inside my mind. It was a horror show inside my mind. I know how you feel. I don't come to this podcast and I don't talk about this shit because I've always had a beautiful, amazing mindset, and it was always amazing and positive about, like, no, I know what it is like to feel like shit, like deep shit, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to feel despair because you don't know where you're going and you don't know where you're supposed to go, and you just feel like life is, like, slipping away through your fingers, and you're losing the sense of control. You're losing sense of, like, what is me? What is my life? What am I here for? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I was always so scared and so lost because I didn't know what I wanted, and because I wasn't sure. I just didn't feel happy. I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And that made me dread every bit of reality because I've always been a passionate person and I've always felt like I needed to have a meaning. Everything that I do currently has a meaning behind it. But the truth is, the only reason why I didn't have before was because I was not allowing my truth to be spoken. I was not allowing my truth to be out there. I was not choosing myself. I was choosing what everyone else was telling me that I should be doing. I was choosing my comfort over my fears, aka over my dreams. I was choosing to stay where I was because questioning that felt terrifying. Questioning where I was felt so terrifying, but I had to do it. And I had to learn the hard way. I had to bump my head so many freaking times, make mistake after mistake, and hurt myself. That's the truth. Like, I chose things that hurt me so deeply. Like staying in a relationship with a guy that I already knew had cheated on me, and I stayed, and he cheated again and again and again. Like, choosing to go on a degree, like take a degree or have a degree. I don't know what's the proper verb to use with that, but choose a degree, a marketing degree, but really not feel connected to it at all, but just feeling like I had to have a degree because everyone has a degree, especially in Portugal. Like, you don't see people nowadays without a degree unless they want to be quote unquote unsuccessful and they want to work at like a supermarket. At least that's the point of view that most people have in Portugal. And yet I questioned that because it just didn't feel connected for me. And for a long time, it was really hard because I was terrified of even questioning. I was terrified of even putting that question on the table and be like, is this really what I want? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing right now? Is this really what's going to take me to where I want to go? I had to question. It was so hard. Like, I was a very depressive person. I had a very negative mind. Like, it was really intense. But I recovered because I started committing to the relationship I have with myself. And at first, it felt weird. It felt strange. It's not it's not comfortable because we're not used to saying to ourselves good things. We're not used to paying attention to our thoughts and our feelings. We're not used to holding space for ourselves. When we feel like shit, we go party, we go drink, we go meet with friends. Even if we talk about our problems with the friends, it's not the same thing as holding space for yourself. You always need to hold space for yourself, no matter how much support you have around you. Because if your first thought is, oh, let me call this person, and not really sit with that, you are abandoning yourself. Because there is a deeper level of that pain, of that problem, of that thing that you're not going to address with someone. Because it's about the feeling in your body. And so, damn, this has become a great podcast. If you love it, rate it 5 stars, by the way, the podcast, because wow, I'm just loving this conversation so much. Thank you for listening, by the way. But, but like, you know, we distract ourselves naturally from ourselves. We distract ourselves from ourselves. We run away from ourselves because it feels uncomfortable to address everything that is happening. Because when you sit with yourself for long enough, oh, believe me, shit will come up eventually, but like certainly, certainly, whatever. With certainty, things are going to come up once you start making space for yourself. 100%. Because your subconscious mind is always trying to speak up to you. Your intuition is always trying to speak to you. And when you stop and listen, it will fucking speak. And it's going to become loud and loud and loud until you can't ignore it anymore. And it will feel scary because it's going to, like, invite you to take action that you don't want to take. Like letting go of a relationship, like quitting that job, like putting yourself out there, like holding boundaries with someone in your life that has been abusing the shit out of you and your space, that hasn't been valuing you. Like, you will know what is out of alignment as soon as you start being with yourself, because your truth is always there, always. And when you are with yourself, it's suddenly really fucking easy to listen. And the more you act on it, the more the easier it's going to be for you to just be aligned, be in alignment with your truth. And the harder it's going to become to lie in your life, to yourself, to people around you, because um it's not going to feel good anymore to lie just for the sake of comfort. It's not going to feel good to settle just for the sake of comfort. It's going to feel suffocating, because it always has been suffocating. But you were just so used to it. It's like having the AC on, the air conditioner on, and suddenly like it stops and you're like, "Oh my god, it's so quiet." You know that feeling? It's the same thing. Suddenly it's like, "Oh my god, like it's so like there was so much noise before." You're gonna start noticing that everything else that you were doing before, when you were in autopilot, was completely out of alignment. Like, it's insane, right? And that's the type of work that you get to do when you commit to this journey. And it will take you inevitably, I promise you this. Even if you don't fully believe it, give it a try, because you are worthy. You deserve this. You deserve to see, like, that it can be better. You deserve to give yourself a chance, you know? And giving yourself that chance doesn't mean trying it once and being like, "Oh yeah, I guess I meditate once, okay, oh whatever." You read a book, a self-help book, and you're like, "Okay." You listen to this podcast, "All right, I guess I'm gonna give it a try." And then you don't actually. Giving it a try means like staying with it until it works. That's the truth. It's staying with it until it works. And I don't mean just meditation. That was like a very small example. I just mean you stay with the intention of, "I want to get better. I want to love myself. I want to heal from my past. I want to find inner peace." And you stay with that fucking thing until you are there, and you are there fully. I never thought I would have peace in my life. That used to be the thing that I wanted the most. And now I am here and I'm so happy for myself. But I had to choose to find that. But to find that, I had to face my own inner war. You cannot find happiness without dealing with your sadness. You cannot find excitement without dealing with your whatever misery. You can't find love until you deal with your own hatred. Like, you have to face that shit. That's the price, and I'm putting this in quotes because it is a blessing, but it's the price of this journey. And you get to do it. I say that very intentionally. You get to do it. This is an opportunity that has been given to you for you to have the life that you want. Do not waste it. Take the opportunity. Make something good out of your life. Live the life of your dreams. Become the woman that you want to be. Be the confident girl that you desire to be, because you can be that person and you get to be that person because you're here. And if you're here, it isn't a coincidence. You are being called to do this work. You are being called to awaken the power that exists within you. That is fucking good, dude. Like, that is amazing, because not everyone gets that opportunity in this lifetime. Not everyone does, but you got it. And the moral of today's episode, the moral of the story is, please choose yourself. Always and forever. You know, this phrase, I got to know this phrase, always and forever, or this saying, I don't know, well, whatever. But I got to know this from a TV show that I love. It's called The Originals. Well, it started with Vampire Diaries, but then The Originals. If you haven't watched that show, by the way, Vampire Diaries, you should. It's a really cool show, and it was the show that accompanied me through my teenage years. It was so sad when it ended, but you know, everything eventually comes to an end, whether it's during your lifetime or when you die. Uh, but but basically, one of the things that they kept saying, because it's a long story, but basically, they are like a family. They have brothers in both line. They're always together. They like always support each other no matter what happens, and they have this thing that they say to each other, always and forever. And I actually think I'm gonna tattoo that eventually, but for myself. No matter what happens, I'm gonna be there for me, always and forever. Always, no matter what, and forever, for my entire lifetime and beyond that. Because I know it's worth it. I know I'm worth it. giving up on myself is not an option ever. And I hope this episode makes you realize that giving up on yourself, whatever that looks like for you right now, whatever you're struggling with that you want to like forget about, that you want to pretend it's not there, that you want to overlook, that you want to put under a rug, do not give up on yourself. Because this thing is, it's only a clue to how you can grow. It's only gonna steer you in the right direction. So listen to it. Go for it. Dive into this journey fully, wholeheartedly. Don't just like, step a foot in this side and another foot on the other side. Like, go fully in, because this will change your life. This journey will fucking change your life. That is it for today. Yeah, that felt like a full circle moment. I'm just really glad that I got to share this message with you. The universe shared what the universe wanted to share. I did not plan this at all. I'm sure this was exactly what I needed to say. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I know you guys need to hear this. Whoever you are, I know you needed this today. And I just hope this inspired you, but also helped you reflect on where you can go next and what you need to dive into in your own inner journey. Is it your inner child? Is it your past? Is it your money mindset? Is it your relationship? Is it your job? Like, what is there that you already know for certain that it's just not for you, that is not aligned with what you want? Where do you need to go next? Ask yourself that question. Don't procrastinate this. Don't postpone. Because when you postpone, you're postponing everything that you desire. That's so not fair to you. Like, that is so not fair to you. So ask yourself, where am I postponing the work? And how can I do it today? How can I commit to something today? So for example, I want to work on my money mindset. So how can I do something today? By looking at my finances and organizing my finances for this week, or by watching a documentary about money, or investing in a program. For example, like, I've invested in a program this month of January that I'm still doing, and I'm already saving for the next program that I'm going to invest in, because for me it's really important this year, and I'm choosing to grow a lot in my business, which means growing in my mindset, which means opening up to more possibilities, to success, to money, which means working on my money mindset, and it means working on my self-worth, especially in relation to my business. Those are all things that I've been doing, and with that comes effort, with that comes shadows, with that comes tough moments, but with that comes so many blessings, so many gifts that the universe has to offer you, and you deserve to see how good it gets. Just say this to yourself for a second. I deserve to see how good it gets. I deserve to see how good it gets. I deserve to see how good it gets. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you loved this episode, make sure to follow the show, because episodes are coming out every Thursdays. Make sure that you're rating the show with 5 stars. It helps a lot, and I want to bring this podcast to as many women as possible, because we all deserve to level the fuck up and to live the life of our dreams. And that is it. If you're interested in working with me on the Goddess Codes, it's a monthly membership. You get to cancel anytime you want. I usually do recommend staying for at least 6 months, because that's how you get the most out of the program. But it's a really good opportunity for you to learn the foundations of building the life of your dreams and tapping into your inner goddess, so that you can learn the tools that help you have a relationship with yourself and co-create your reality with the universe. I'm going to leave all that information in the links down below in the description of this episode. So that is it. Yeah, and make sure that you follow me on Instagram if you don't. because I always assume that you guys know me from Instagram, but I know some of you probably don't. And so follow me on Instagram. That is also down below in the description of the episode, because I'm always talking there, and a lot of new things are coming up this month and in this next quarter. So make sure that you are there to get all the updates and to get some extra content, because everything that I do revolves around this. It revolves around self-love and self-development and manifesting and spirituality. And if you like the podcast, you're gonna love my Instagram as well. So make sure you do that. And I love you. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following. Thank you for your support. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.